Hello everyone and welcome back. I hope you're doing well. Today we're talking about Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam! Fury of the Gods was directed by David F. Sandberg and stars Zachary Levi reprising his role as the titular character Shazam, and is the sequel to the well-received first film back in 2019. And I quite liked Shazam. I thought it was alright as far as the DCEU or DCCU or whatever you want to call it, as it was back when it was still kinda a thing. I thought it was an alright entry. It was a little bit different and fresh, but still felt like it was in that world. And if you're in the movie space, you kinda know how the reception is for this film. I'm very late to this one. I just wanted to talk about it, and as well as talking about it, I thought, let's add something new to the conversation. Let's talk about why it hasn't done well, why it's not doing numbers, even though it's not that bad of a movie. No one seems to hate this movie, but no one's going out and seeing it. It's not making any money at all. Currently, it's one of, if not the least highest grossing film of all the DC movies. Of movies in its universe. We're not talking about Catwoman. So, no spoilers for people that haven't seen it still, even though some of you might not care. Still, not going to ruin it for anybody. It was okay. It's not that bad. It's pretty by the numbers as far as superhero films go. It doesn't really add anything new to the genre that we haven't seen before. And its biggest problem would probably be just figuring out some sort of story, what to do, because your antagonists are just these two older ladies, and I love Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu on their own, but they've got nothing here as characters to munch on, to give. They've got nothing they can do to kind of elevate or add to this film. And when you pitch it as Shazam 2, Shazam versus two older women that also have superpowers, it doesn't sound that interesting. A lot of the limelight's taken off of Shazam in this film and really given to Freddy in this film. Not when he's in his superhero form, but just the actor that plays Freddy. His name, Jack Dylan Grazer is his name. He steals the show in this movie. He gets more screen time than Billy Batson himself, I think. He's definitely the reason to see the film, but outside of him, there's just nothing special to this, nothing that doesn't feel artificial. Even the jokes feel formulated because half of them kind of fall flat. I know humor is subjective, but just as well-crafted jokes, it's more of on-set banter, and half of it works and half of it doesn't, rather than a well-crafted or written joke. You don't know whether the movie's kind of just a comedy that you should be laughing at the whole time, or another superhero epic that you should kind of take seriously. When you play in the comedy aspects more in your movie, it makes you feel like you shouldn't take the serious moments as seriously. Overall, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, it's a pretty average superhero movie. Not bad, just average, and that's what a lot of people have been saying. Some people absolutely hate this movie. I've seen some people slam the hell out of it. And I don't think it deserves that. There's nothing in here that I really hate other than one particular brand getting a lot of product placement, which I won't mention because they've got enough product placement in this film. This company must have had fat stacks and had a lot of deals with Warner Brothers to get this done. Taste the rainbow is all I'm saying. So if it's not really bad and hated like some superhero films are, why is this movie not doing well? And that's what I really wanted to kind of talk about. It's a product of time and place, alright? Warner Brothers, if you're listening, I know you're not, okay? There's only like 5 people watching. But if one of 5 of you is a higher up Warner Brothers executive, it's time and place, because we're in a stage now where we've had 4 phases of the MCU, and that's almost burning out on its way out. In terms of DC movies, we've had a whole jumbled mess of DC films, and Shazam was good, but no one was even asking for a sequel, and if they were, they wanted one with Black Adam as the antagonist. The Rock came in, tried to do his Black Adam thing, take over all the DC universe and say, I'm saving it, I'm revamping it. Black Adam didn't do well, he's out. And one of the things The Rock really insisted on doing was making sure that Shazam has nothing to do with his version of Black Adam, and that they don't meet, they don't cross over, they don't nothing. Now, those two characters to each other are like Batman and Joker. It makes 0 sense. However, I get that The Rock wanted to kind of be taken more seriously, whereas Shazam was a very jokey character, but The Rock's making a lot of jokes in his own movie. Like, think of when he gets hit in the head with the what do you even call that thing? And tosses the guy out to sea. I'm playing the clip, that'll make sense of what I'm talking about. So I don't know, this whole DC situation's a mess, and now that we have James Gunn in as our head of DC, who's taken over everything and is giving us a hard reboot, these films, Shazam Fury of the Gods and the Flash movie that's also coming out a little later, are way too far into production to cancel. They've spent all the money and budget getting those films done, so now it's like, well, we gotta release it, we gotta try and make some sort of money. But since a lot of us that are younger are very much aware of what the hell is going on and that it's getting a hard reboot, we now know that these movies aren't leading to anything. There's nothing cataclysmic that's gonna make us, we've got to see Shazam 2 to know how this is going to lead into this. There's no Justice League 2, there's no nothing, this is it. And these movies have become less and less about being great movies and masterpieces on their own, in their own right, like Spider-Man 2 or The Dark Knight, and more about, we need to be a chapter in something bigger. With nothing bigger to go to, there's no reason to watch this. Why do we care to watch this? Why should anybody care when we all know now that it's not going to matter? As well as that good old superhero fatigue burnout that everybody's still kind of dealing with, kinda. Or maybe it's not superhero fatigue, but it's this formula of superhero movies that everyone's getting fatigued with. I also think a big contributor to this was the fact that the marketing was like vacant. A lot of people I know forgot this movie even exists, or that it even came out. I had some friends that were kind of interested in seeing this, but they didn't because they didn't even know it came out. It kind of failed on every front outside of the movie itself. Time, place, marketing, all those factors. And that's why it's not really bad. It's a fine superhero movie. It's very, very average is the best way of putting it. You'll get a few laughs. There's one or two sequences that are kind of interesting, but then a lot of it's the same stuff that you very much expect from a movie like this, which isn't always bad. You know, Jack Dylan Grazer is going to give you some good jokes, and there's going to be some humorous moments, and that's okay, but everyone's tired of it at this point. I feel like I'm repeating myself now, but I think I've made my point. All these things are the reason why this movie is not making money at all, and a lot of people, even as of me reviewing this now, have already forgot about it, but I just wanted to talk about it and let you know that I did see it, and I think it's fine. You know, see it if it's a rainy day and you've got nothing better you could be watching, I reckon. For me, an average movie gets an average grade, a 5 out of 10, which seems quite harsh in retrospect, but there's some issues in this. So Shazam, Fury of the Gods, have you forgotten about it already? Let me know down below. Try to keep it spoiler free, just in case people do want to see it. You know, it's a courtesy thing, come on, we're all in this community together, we've got to work together. It's a mess of a film, but it has bright spots, and as far as where I'm at mentally with these movies, knowing that none of it's gonna matter, I just kinda want to be entertained on my way out. And this was fine. Here's hoping the Flash movie gives us a bit of a bigger bang, because we've got Michael Keaton's Batman in it, and it looks pretty freaking alright. I'm sorry. People seem really, really excited about this, and there's some aspects that look kind of cool, but I can see this movie 5 years ahead of time, and we'll look back on it, and it won't be anything like No Way Home. It'll have one or two cool moments, but really leaning entirely on Michael Keaton and all these other factors, and showing Zod again, and these higher stakes in the story to cover up the fact that their own main protagonist, the Flash, Ezra Miller, is just not that interesting, and I tell you what, they are doing a hell of a job sweeping up all the stuff that he did under the rug, because the excitement is back for this, and I personally love The Flash. I've reviewed the entire first season, episode by episode. If you want to binge something, the quality of the first few might not be that great, but it gets better. As always, guys, I hope you all are having a fantastic day wherever you are out there in the beautiful world that we live in. Sorry I'm not uploading as frequently as people would like. I am trying to get these out as much as possible. I've got like 5 reviews on the way, some for movies that have come out more recently than Shazam Fury of the Gods. So if you haven't already, consider subscribing or dropping a like if you thought this was a somewhat kind of maybe competent video. It probably wasn't. I feel like this review is a real mess, and I'm not gonna have a great time trying to edit this. For you, the video is quite short. For me, it's rambling on, and I have to just figure out when I'm editing what makes sense and what to even keep in. Anyway, thank you. I'm rambling again. As always, if you've made it through to the end of the video, you're a bloody legend, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time when I'm talking about... Not gonna tell you. You'll have to find out. Bye, guys.